Well, welcome. In this session, we're going to go through telephone approaches. We're going to talk about the telephone as a tool for prospecting, as well as some tips on using the telephone. You know, you've only got a certain number of tools you use when you're prospecting for your business. And one of those is the telephone, as well as the computer, as well as mail programs, and as well as walk and talk. But keep in mind, you are a tool for your own six-figure income and your seven-figure business. The good thing about the telephone is you're able to contact a large number of people in a short period of time. You get a profile list of prospects. You're able to go through them in a short period of time. You could hire telemarketers to help increase your volume or the quality of your calls if you're not great on the phone or the phone's not your forte. But the good thing about the phone is it's low cost. You can get profile lists of businesses and individuals for relatively inexpensive, anywhere from 2 cents to 9 cents a name. And the thing I like about the telephone is you get immediate feedback. You know at the end of the call if you've got an appointment or you're going to make a full presentation. You even have a good chance of knowing you're going to make a sale. So what I like about the telephone is I know at the end of every call exactly where I stand. There's no false sense of security that you've got something set up that really isn't set up. So I would tell you when you use the phone, you want to use what I call the FIST approach. You fill out your call list so you can check the numbers against the do not call list. If it's individuals, you don't have to worry about that as much for businesses. You want to initiate the next call. The thing you do not want to do at the end of the call is take time to tell war stories to somebody else in the office or your family or somebody else about a call you just had. If it was a bad call, you've already lived through it once, why do you want to go through it again? And if it was a good call, then just move on. Also, by initiating the next call, you move through your list. So when we go through the training talking about business plans, one of the things on the business plan is to know what your matrix are. What are your numbers? You should know how many calls you have to make in order to get a presentation or get an appointment. You know how many appointments you have to get a full presentation. You know how many presentations you need to get a sale. So it's important that you just move through your list. The goal on the phone calls is to schedule the appointment or get a presentation and then move through your list and do it systematically and timely. We're not clairvoyant. You can't read a list and determine one number is better than a number or one prospect's better than another. Just work through your list systematically. Remember, sell the appointment. It's the purpose of the call. Sell the appointment for either the presentation or to get an appointment. And turn over your prospect list. Work that entire list. Don't stop making phone calls because you get some appointments or you get a presentation and then you work a different list the next day. Work that list until you're completely done with that list and then set it aside. That way you've got no false sense of security that you've got business going on or you've got more people to call when you're just reworking the same list over and over. Get through that list and move on to the next list. So let's talk about some telephone tips. There are some specific tips that you can use in order to be more successful in using the phone. Here are some of the tips. Number one, be prepared. There's no substitute for this step. If you don't know your script, if you don't have your rebuttals down, if you don't know what your standard objections are, if you don't have a map available to you, if you don't have a calendar available to you, if you don't have the product brochure for what the product that you're going to be setting the appointment for, then you're going to not be prepared. Be brief. Remember, most Americans are time poor. So the purpose of the call is to schedule the appointment or schedule time to do the full presentation, not to grinch, chat, and smile. Remember, prospects are not your friend. If you need a friend, you should get a dog. Customers you can be friendly with, but prospects are just prospects. You want to be enthusiastic. The real professional is someone who's just as enthusiastic and engaged in the 50th call they've made today as the very first call. And the other reason you want to be enthusiastic, it's contagious. People do not catch logic, they catch enthusiasm. Be urgent. You want the message to be perceived as important. If you answer all their questions on the phone, what reason do they have to schedule a time to talk to you or to meet with you? If you sell on the phone, make sure this is a selling appointment. Generally, it's not. Generally, when you make that first call, you're not going to be selling on that call. So make sure that you have the time set up in order to do a full presentation. Don't start answering questions because you think you're going to lose someone. If you're answering questions because you feel like you're going to lose someone, you're going to lose them anyway. Remember, you can't lose something you don't have. So when you're setting appointments, you want to talk a little faster than normal. You want to talk a little louder than normal. If you're being enthusiastic, then you're always going to be talking a little bit louder. Your pitch of your voice is always going to go up a little bit, just like you hear mine going up. And you would talk a little clearer. See how I just slowed that down? You want to talk a little clearer. So there's certain points that you're going to highlight with the pace of your voice, with the voice inflection, in order to be most successful on the phone. And as always, you can click here for more trainings. You can click here to book your next training or get a price to have me speak at one of your events. And you can click here for articles or to see other videos. If you have a specific question you'd like to talk about, you can call 865-776-7632.